morning, I'm Chitrakar, and these are the headlines of the hour. Victims of the massive fire in Mahottari's Matihani compelled to spend the night under open sky amid fear of snake bites. More than 100 houses destroyed. Karnali Province Chief Minister Yamlal Karnil to take the vote of confidence today. Political parties hold discussion on giving a full shape to the Council of Ministers. 80 people killed and another 86 injured in the Gaza Strip as a result of Israel's military operation in the past 24 hours. Strikes carried out by fighter jets and aircrafts. And PSG close in on a record extending 12th Ligue 1 title as Ousmane Dembele and Kylian Mbappe each scores twice in a 4-1 away win against Lorient. Victims of fire in a settlement with Muslim population in Mahottari's Matihani municipality have been compelled to spend the night under open sky. Those who lost their houses in yesterday's fire spent last night under open sky. The victims have said that they have been compelled to bear the heat and fear possible snake bites while staying outside. The victims have yet to be provided tarpaulins and have been utilizing sacks and pieces of clothes to cover themselves. According to police, more than 100 houses have been completely destroyed in the fire, while the preliminary estimates of losses have been put at millions of rupees. Karnali Province Chief Minister Yamlal Karnil is seeking the vote of confidence today. The voting is to be held during the meeting of the Provincial Assembly that will begin at 3 p.m. In the 40-member Provincial Assembly, Nepali Congress has 14 members, CPN Mao Centre has 13 and CPN UML has 10 members. Likewise, there are one each members from Rashtriya Prajatantra Party and CPN Unified Socialist and one independent member. Chief Minister Karnil can secure majority vote simply with the support from CPN Mao Centre and CPN UML. CPN UML's Karnil had been appointed the province chief minister on 9th of April. He appointed Rana Singh Pariyar of CPN Mao Centre as minister without portfolio only yesterday. The Karnali province government has yet to be given a full shape due to lack of consensus with CPN Mao Centre. The Chief Minister is set to give a full shape to the Province Council of Ministers after clearing the floor test later today. The silence period for the by-election in Ilam Electoral Constituency 2, which has been scheduled for this Saturday, has begun from today. The Election Commission has made the announcement barring election campaign until the vote counting concludes. According to the Code of Conduct issued by the Election Commission, silence period is implemented 48 hours before the voting begins. With this, the silence period has been implemented in Ilam and Bajhang from midnight last night. The works of sending election staff and election materials have been intensified. Although by-election is to be held in Ilam Electoral Constituency 2 under the House of Representatives and Bajhang 1 under the Provincial Assembly, silence period has been implemented throughout both the districts. The by-election is to be held as one post each in the House of Representatives and the Provincial Assembly have remained vacant following CPN UML leader Subhash Chandra Nimwang's death on 11 September last year, who was elected from Ilam 2, and the death of Nepali Congress leader Prithvi Bahadur Singh from Bajhang 1A on 20th of June last year in an accident. According to the Election Commission, voting will be held from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on Saturday. Private schools have been charging exorbitant amount with their students annually in the name of admission fees. However, the local government has remained indifferent towards the issue. According to the education regulations, schools must submit the proposal for admission fee to the local government 2 months prior to the start of the new academic session. However, many schools do not abide by the regulation and charge admission fees indiscriminately. Meanwhile, various local levels have also been dilly-dallying to approve the proposals presented by schools. A total of 2 million students study in around 7,000 private schools across the country. Schools have been raising the fees by up to 20% annually. Private schools have continued to collect 50,000 to 200,000 rupees as admission fees from their students annually. The school operators themselves admit that this is against the education regulation. Meanwhile, local authorities have not taken actions against schools that have been operating against the Local Level Education Act. There is a general call on the concerned authority to implement proper regulation in this regard and take actions against educational institutions that fail to abide by it. In our Public Voice segment, we had asked in several provinces what they think of schools taking admission fees from students every year. Let's take a look at what they had to say.
निशुल्क शिक्षा र एउटा शुल्क दिने शिक्षा छ त्यो शुल्क लिने शिक्षालाई खारेज गरी निशुल्क शिक्षा लागू गर्न पर्दछ।
हरेक सालको निम्ति चाहिँ जुन वार्षिक शुल्क भनेर ठुलो चर्को रकम लिने गरिन्छ यो चाहिँ गार्जियनहरुलाई पनि धेरै गाह्रो भएको महसुस मलाई लाग्छ।
यो कमाउ धन्दा भन्दा अरु केही हैन।
निजी स्कुलहरुको आफ्नो एकदमै व्यथिति हो।
एकचोटी भर्ना भएपछि नलिनु पर्ने
1 महिनाको 1.5 महिनाको 2 महिनाको सम्मको मन्थली फीमा जोडेर लिने गरे त्यो चाहिँ गलत हो।
भन्नलाई चाहिँ शिक्षा र स्वास्थ्य निशुल्क भन्ने तर विद्यार्थीसँग वर्षैपछि भर्ना शुल्क लिने कुरा चाहिँ यो कानुन विपरीत छ। यो सरकारको लाचारीपन हो। यसलाई नियन्त्रण गर्नुपर्छ।
सरकारी विद्यालयहरुमा निशुल्क भएपछि निजी विद्यालयहरुमा पनि निशुल्क भइदियो।
शिक्षा शाखाले के हेरिरहेको छ?
निजी विद्यालय सञ्चालकहरुको उहाँहरुको पेशा भएको कारणले यसलाई चाहिँ सामान्य रूपले नै ल्याउँछु किनभने उहाँहरुको जीविका चलाउने एउटा पेशा हो।
शैक्षिक भ्रष्टाचार हो। यो लिनु चाहिँ गलत भयो।
आफ्नै विद्यार्थी 4 बाट 5 मा जाँदा भर्ना शुल्क लिएपछि यो स्वतः लुटेको हैन यो वैधानिक डाका गरेको जतिकै हो।
एकपल्ट भर्ना गरेको स्कुलमा भएको विद्यार्थीले अब फेरि पटक उनीलाई दोहोर्याएर चाहिँ भर्ना गर्न चाहिँ यो गलतै हो।
सुरुमा एडमिसन गरिसकेपछि रिन्यु स्वरूप सामान्यतया थोरै न्यूनतम शुल्कहरुसम्म राख्न त स्वाभाविक थियो।
Addressing a program organized by CPN-UML on Monday, former President Bidyadevi Bhandari suggested for unification among communist parties, which has hinted towards the possibility of her returning to active politics. However, she has not issued a clear statement in this regard. Two polarized voices regarding whether or not should Bhandari return to active politics are being heard within CPN-UML. However, the group making efforts for Bhandari's return to active politics has been enthused with the development. On the occasion of the 75th year of establishment of Nepal Communist Party, CPN-UML felicitated Bhandari with Republic Pride Honour. According to UML Chair Oli, the honour is the biggest award of CPN-UML. While UML decided to honour her in capacity of former president, to which she agreed, it remains to be seen if UML is also considering her return to active politics. However, Bhandari's statement while addressing the program has raised many eyebrows. Her statement has been taken as more of a political connotation than greetings for the event. Bhandari served as the president for 2 terms and is a common figure for all Nepali nationals. In addition to her statement, having already risen above political parties, questions are also being raised on why she presented herself as a representative of a party. A few UML members have been voicing for having Bhandari as the chairperson from the upcoming general convention of the party. Analysts have identified 3 reasons for her possible return: soft ties with Chinese president, effort from some members of UML for her return, and her own active participation at political events. However, CPN-UML chairperson KP Sharma Oli himself used to suggest Bhandari until a few months ago to stay put with national honour. Whether Monday's honour was a reinforcement of Oli's suggestion or the key to opening doors for her return remains to be seen. Time now for our segment, Public Pulse, where you text us with your opinion.
Public Pulse.
Here's the question: what do you term the talks about return of former President Bidyadevi Bhandari to active politics? Your options are A, normal, B, against the Constitution, and C, drawing controversy. Voting is on. Type NEWS, select your option A, B, or C, and send to 34001 to share your opinion with us. Time now for international update. Around 80 people have been killed in the Gaza Strip as a result of Israel's military operation in the past 24 hours. The embattled enclave's health ministry issued a statement saying that 79 people have been killed and another 86 have been injured in the Gaza Strip in the past 24 hours by Israeli air forces, which aimed at more than 50 different targets. According to the ministry, the strikes were carried out by fighter jets and aircrafts. An operational tunnel shaft and military infrastructure were also hit. In a similar attack, at least 3 Palestinians have been killed and several others have been wounded in an airstrike that hit a residential home in Rafah city. Palestinian media cited sources as saying Israeli fighter jets targeted a home that belonged to the Jamal family, which was filled with people. More than 1.5 million Palestinians are currently sheltering in Rafah, where Israel has repeatedly threatened to send in ground troops for a ground invasion. According to the ministry, the number of deaths in the Israeli aggression in the Gaza Strip rose to 34,262, while 77,229 people have been injured. The Islamist movement Hamas published a video yesterday apparently showing Hirsch Goldberg Polin, an Israeli-American kidnapped during the October 7 attack on Israel and taken hostage into Gaza alive. The short video, which is undated, showed the 23-year-old missing his lower arm, which was blown off during the Hamas-led attack in October, but otherwise apparently healthy. The man seen in the video matches photographs of Hirsch Goldberg Polin. His mother, Rachel Goldberg Polin, has been campaigning actively for the release of her son, who was abducted near the Nova Music Festival that was attacked by Hamas gunmen early on October 7. Goldberg Polin fled with other party goers to a bomb shelter near the party site, where militants surrounded the shelter and repeatedly threw grenades into the small concrete structure. Goldberg Polin's friend was able to throw back most of the grenades but was eventually killed along with others. Those who survived could be seen in a video brutally thrown into the back of a pickup truck by militants. Goldberg Polin is one of 133 Israeli hostages still in captivity after more than 100 were released last year. Protesters and police clashed on the campus of the University of South California in Los Angeles during a pro-Palestinian demonstration yesterday. Demonstrators chanted "Free, Free Palestine" as they marched and carried tents on campus. As tensions flared, police were seen pushing back protesters, some of whom fell to the ground. Protesters surrounded a vehicle where at least one protester had been detained by police. Police officials called on the Los Angeles Police Department to try and tame the situation. The detained protester was later released to the delight of the pro-Palestinian protesters. The war in Gaza continues to reverberate through U.S. university campuses, where students have camped out in tents as they protested Israel's actions in Gaza. Pro-Palestinian groups have called on universities to end investments in companies that support or profit from Israel's military actions in the occupied Palestinian territories. A top UN aid official yesterday urged for further definitive and urgent steps from Israel to allow a sustained flow of assistance into the Gaza Strip, saying aid workers needed safe access to and throughout the enclave of 2.3 million people. UN Humanitarian and Reconstruction Coordinator for Gaza, Sigrid Kaag, told the 15-member UN Security Council that given the scale and scope of destruction and the extent of human suffering, every day counts. A UN-backed report published in March said that famine was imminent and likely to occur by May in northern Gaza and could spread across the enclave by July. Kaag called for more quality and quantity of aid and distribution, irreversible steps to allow safe, secure and unhindered delivery inside Gaza, and preparations for recovery and reconstruction. Kaag added that effective humanitarian operations cannot be reduced to counting trucks. Deputy U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Robert Wood, told the Security Council that Israel had taken some positive steps, but not nearly enough and not quickly enough. Russia vetoed a U.S.-drafted United Nations Security Council resolution that called on countries to prevent an arms race in outer space, a move that prompted the United States to question if Moscow was hiding something. The vote came after Washington accused Moscow of developing an anti-satellite nuclear weapon to put in space, an allegation that Russia has denied. Russian President Vladimir Putin has said that Moscow was against putting nuclear weapons in space. Russia's UN ambassador Vasily Nebenzia accused Washington of trying to tarnish Moscow and said Russia would shortly begin negotiations with Council members on its own draft resolution aimed at keeping space peaceful. The draft resolution was put to a vote by the US and Japan after nearly 6 weeks of negotiations. It received 13 votes in favor while China abstained and Russia cast a veto. The 1967 Outer Space Treaty bars signatories, including Russia and the United States, from placing in orbit around the Earth any objects carrying nuclear weapons or any other kinds of weapons of mass destruction. Before wrapping up, here's a look at the top stories once again. Victims of the massive fire in Mahottari's Matihani compelled to spend the night under open sky amid fear of snake bites. More than 100 houses completely destroyed. Karnali Province Chief Minister Yamlal Karnil to take the vote of confidence today. Political parties hold discussion on giving a full shape to the Council of Ministers. 80 people killed and another 86 injured in the Gaza Strip as a result of Israel's military operation in the past 24 hours. Strikes carried out by fighter jets and aircrafts. And PSG close in on a record extending 12th Ligue 1 title as Ousmane Dembélé and Kylian Mbappe each scores twice in a 4-1 away win against Lorient. That's all for the moment. Thank you for watching. Have a good day.